You're going to start adding color to your drawing today, and there are different things that you need to take into consideration when you're using color. One of the easiest things that you could do is look at the image that you have as reference, and that's why you have that image, so you can try to identify what's happening with the color before you actually start applying the color. The first thing you need to think about is where is the source of light in your image. In different images, you could have light coming from different places. I'm going to show you this one specifically because this one is easier to understand. In this image, you clearly see that there's something dark happening here because there's kind of like a dark street or an alley, and then you see that there's more light in this part of the picture. And therefore, this part of the building is lighter and it starts getting darker around here. There are certain rules that you could follow at certain times, but these rules don't apply for every single picture. That's why you always have to identify where the source of light is. When you're thinking about closed spaces, if you're looking at about something that is indoors, it tends to be that the things that are farther away from you are lighter. But since the source of light in this one is coming from the sky and is coming from at this point and not closer to here, then this is different. So therefore you wouldn't be able to apply that. There's something else that I might as well talk about that is called aerial or atmospheric perspective, and it's like a phenomenon that happens when you are looking at something outside. This happens outside. This doesn't happen when you're looking at something indoors. And it happens because of the air that is between where you're standing and what is in the back. So this is a great example of aerial or atmospheric perspective. There's something that is far away in the distance. So it also happens when you have things that are really far away. If you're standing really close to something, you don't really get to see it. So you often see it in landscapes or when you're looking at scenes like this. In atmospheric perspective, whatever is closer to you is more saturated. That means that you see more of the true color. In this case, it would be green. And you can see, for example, that this is more of a true green or a natural green. This one is not as much as a green as this one. And as things start getting farther away from you, they start getting a little bit more bluish, grayish, and they are not as detailed as what you have in here. So here I can see the bushes and I can see the detail and it's well defined, and I can see the different greens and a yellowish green. And as you start going farther away, it starts getting more bluish, grayish, and you start losing detail. And over here, you can't really tell that it is a mountain. You can imply it because of what you have seen here, but if you saw only this, you wouldn't be able to tell until you lose all the color. This is another example of the same atmospheric perspective. In this ones, because things are not as far away from you, you don't get that effect. Also, what I was saying before is that you get this effect because there's particles of air between where you're standing and what is in the back that is kind of like blurring what you're seeing. So in a street picture, you have to identify where the source of light is. Most of the times, the source of light, if it's a day picture, is going to come from the sky, but you also have to see what is blocking that light. In this one, you can see that there's light here, like coming from here, and it starts getting darker as it goes here and as it goes down. So you can also use that. And what you can apply to everything is what I said before about details being able to see details of things that are closer to you, and as they start getting farther away from you, you lose that ability to see those details. So in here, this is not a really good picture, but you could see the windows and you can see a little bit of the frames. In here, you know that there's something there, but you can't really tell what it looks like or what the structure is. In this one, something similar can happen over here. Like here, I can see the window, I can see that there's a sign, for example, here with letters, I can see that there are some objects through the windows, I can even have an idea of what is on the other side of that window. Whilst when I go here, I just see some lines. have the idea that they're windows, but I can't really tell. I just see some lines, so I lose the detail. So you can start applying that to your work, thinking about how as you go far away, you start losing detail, and then depending on the picture that you chose, the color will change in one or the other way.